crash claims mates on the Western Downs. Their vehicle smashed into a tree and burst into flames. They never stood a chance. On target for mass job losses, a major overhaul of a retail giant that will see stores close and others rebranded. The multi-billion-dollar budget bungle, the number of Aussies needing JobKeeper turns out to be significantly less, putting a huge stash of cash back in the government's coffers. Parts of our state wake up shivering. An early start to winter moves in as the mercury falls to record lows in some parts. And single but can't mingle, how the dating game is becoming all talk in the corona pandemic.
This is 10 News First Queensland with Georgina Lewis.
Good evening. A number of small communities on the Western Downs are reeling tonight after 3 mates died in a horrific crash on a quiet country road. 5 friends were travelling together to Tara after visiting Chinchilla when tragedy struck.
On the road between Chinchilla and Tara, a scene of chaos and carnage that's causing unimaginable grief for 2 tiny communities. Just before 6 o'clock last night, 3 lives were lost in an instant when this Holden Commodore veered out of control, slammed into a tree and burst into flames.
The scene would have been extremely confronting and challenging for the witnesses and also the first responders that attended.
It's difficult to believe anyone survived this, but somehow 2 people did. The 49-year-old male passenger who was in the front seat only suffered a minor shoulder injury and was able to escape the wreck and free the badly injured female driver.
So the female suffered abdominal and chest injuries, which were critical in nature.
Aged 42, she's fighting for her life in the PA hospital. The 3 mates killed were in the back seat. 2 of them, Cameron Thompson and Casey Ian Porter, aged in their mid-30s, were from Tara. Friends of the 2 men paid their respects on social media. You will always be in my heart and always on my mind. R.I.P. mate, can't believe you're gone.
And we're obviously doing what we can with regards to the next of kin to try and provide support.
Police say the friends were travelling back to Tara after visiting Chinchilla. They only made it 8 kilometres down the quiet country road. A witness told detectives they'd been overtaken at high speed by the Commodore just before the crash happened.
We'd had rain pretty much all day. The roads were still damp and wet. So road conditions may have played a part.
They'll also investigate whether drugs or alcohol were a factor in this horrific tragedy. Brendan Savage for 10 News First.
It's one of Australia's most recognisable retailers, but today Target was dealt a major blow. More than half of all stores will either be shut down or converted to Kmart, leaving more than 1,000 jobs at risk.
A much-loved store with a Target on its back. The retailer's owner is significantly shrinking the chain because it's struggling.
Target is an unprofitable business. It's been subject to an enormous amount of change and competition in the retail market for many years.
Up to 167 Target and Target country stores will be impacted. Around 92 will be converted into Kmarts, but up to 25 Targets will close and 50 Target country stores, which mainly operate in regional areas, will shut. Wesfarmers hasn't revealed the specific locations.
I didn't know that so many stores were going to close. I think that's a great pity.
I think it's sad that they're closing. I suppose if they're going to change to Kmart, then at least they will, you've still got employment around the area.
But unfortunately, there are between 1,000 and 1,300 team members that over the next 12 months are likely to lose their jobs.
The plan is to try to redeploy as many as possible across other Wesfarmers businesses such as Bunnings and Officeworks.
We'll certainly be working towards 100% outcome for redeployment. Challenging, yes. Impossible, no.
Back in 2016, Wesfarmers told me they wanted to keep both brands and make them strong performing retailers. 4 years on, Kmart is on top and Target will shrink to around 125 stores. The Retailers Association says it gets it. Retailers have an obligation to make tough decisions at this time to ensure their ongoing financial viability. Strengthening its online operations are a big part of that as more and more customers choose to shop that way. Today is all about ensuring they keep shopping tomorrow.
But over the next year, I'm confident we'll create more jobs for Australians.
Gillian Bowen for 10 News First.
It could be the biggest accounting error in Australian history. The bill from the government's brand new JobKeeper scheme has been slashed by $60 billion. It turns out there aren't 6 million Australians relying on the scheme. It's more like 3 million.
This was the Prime Minister only last Friday.
This is a $130 billion program which has been able to connect with over 6 million Australians.
But as it turns out, that wasn't quite right. The Treasurer admitting there's been a massive reporting error with the JobKeeper program, and it's not actually covering the 6.5 million workers claimed, but rather half that amount.
This is a mistake you could have seen from space. And this is a government that couldn't run a bath.
This is a very uncertain time. I'm not blaming Treasury and I'm not blaming the ATO.
Treasury has realised around 1,000 businesses wrongly filled out their application form. It means the $130 billion program will now cost around $70 billion, delivering a whopping $60 billion bonus to Aussie taxpayers.
This is good news for the taxpayer.
Good news for the budget, but still an embarrassing blunder.
Blows any previous mistake when it comes to economic figures in Australian history right out of the water.
Importantly, there was no money that was sent out that shouldn't have been sent out. There was no underpayments.
The Morrison government is now under pressure to explain why the scheme couldn't be expanded to include the 1 million ineligible casual workers and some visa holders.
They said they couldn't expand the program because they'd drawn a line in the sand. What we know now is that that sand was indeed quicksand.
There's now calls to revisit the eligibility criteria, with Labor and the Greens demanding all casual workers be included, along with the arts and entertainment sector, which was largely locked out.
This is not an invitation to spend more money.
Tegan George for 10 News First.
We've woken to an early blast of winter with temperatures plummeting around the southeast. Out west, it was so cold, records were broken. Let's go to our weather expert, Josh Holt. Josh, just how cold did it get?
Well, it was the maximum temperatures today, Georgie, that were particularly chilly. Longreach, for example, 14.5 degrees, a whopping 13 below average, and the coldest May day on record. And those records go back an astonishing 51 years, and it's all due to a cold front and trough that's moved through areas of Queensland over the past 24 hours. You can see in behind it a cold southerly air stream that's kept those temperatures at bay, and also the cloud cover above. Chilly temperatures also, as you can see here, across the Darling Downs and Toowoomba this afternoon. In fact, Toowoomba only reached 11 degrees this afternoon. That is also a huge 9 degrees below average for this time of year, and all due to that system, as mentioned, that travelled through and pushing through southeast Queensland during late yesterday. Now, well, it wasn't only the Darling Downs. As you can see, Brisbane particularly chilly, only reaching 18 this afternoon, 6.5 below average, and even Ipswich only reached 19 degrees, which was 5 below. How does it look over the coming days? Well, particularly chilly across the weekend. In fact, only 17 for Brisbane tomorrow, warming up slightly to 21. And as you can see, those minimum temperatures looking particularly chilly, especially for Ipswich, 7 degrees tomorrow morning, but down to a very chilly 4 degrees first thing Sunday morning. We'll have more on the chilly temperatures coming up shortly.
I'll see you soon. Thanks, Josh. The Premier has been issued a challenge from desperate tourism operators. They want Anastasia Palaszczuk to come and see firsthand their demise as she continues to shut down any talk of opening our borders.
Cleaning for guests that may still be months away. Staff at the Ruby Collection in Surfers Paradise were prepping rooms for July arrivals. Now they could sit vacant beyond September, unless the borders are reopened.
The looser the regulations for our country nationally will make it a lot easier for us to trade.
A 2-month extension to the southern border lockdown has rocked the already shattered visitor-based economy, angering its leaders.
Gold Coast tourism sector is frankly furious at the backtrack by the state government of the deadlines that we were given for opening the border on the 10th of July.
In Coolangatta, just metres from the checkpoint, businesses who were trying to survive through to the initial July reopening date have now lost hope.
If the borders remain closed until beyond September, I don't think my business will survive.
Many have lost faith in the Premier's plan, with accusations the shutdown is ineffective as pedestrians freely cross between states.
I don't believe that the border as it stands at the moment is playing a part in managing it.
To the north, tourist hubs in Surfers Paradise and Broadbeach are feeling the flow-on effects combined with caps on the number of customers.
It's sustainable for us, but we're fighting and battling every day, like tooth and claw to make it.
The opposition wants the Premier to visit the area to explain the delay.
Come down and tell us what has changed medically that makes you change your mind to the point that these businesses are going to be impacted massively.
Those hit hardest agree.
I think she should have been down here a long time ago. Simple as that.
Until then, they'll keep hanging on. Matthew Howard for 10 News First.
It's back to school for the rest of Queensland's students from Monday as years 2 to 10 return to the classroom. But it will mean our roads and public transport could be the busiest we've seen in months.
Students at Polaris State School are hanging out for Monday. All their classmates will finally be back as Queensland schools fully reopen.
Routine is very important in everyone's life, but particularly students. And so having them come back to school, getting back into the routine of their school days and the structures around that will be very beneficial.
Extra cleaning time has been allocated, with students encouraged to social distance as much as possible.
And what we call it at Polaris is the daylight rule. So there's always daylight between one student and the next.
And like many schools, staggered start times are now in place.
I guess it alleviates a lot of the pick-up zone debacles that happen in every school and issues associated with that, but it will also mean that we'll have less adults on the site at any one given time.
The well-being of staff and students is paramount in any school leader's mind. Yes, I am confident that schools have got necessary practices and structures in place.
From next week, expect the morning commute to be much busier as more students jump back on public transport, which has seen a 71% drop in patronage.
Use your common sense, social distance wherever you can. There's certainly a lot of space on public transport at the moment, so there's no problem at the moment in terms of social distancing.
Weekday traffic on our roads has been down more than 30% in the southeast. That will also pick up on Monday as more parents who have been homeschooling start to return to the workplace.
We do anticipate there will be heavier traffic, slower traffic, and it will start earlier than we have been seeing in the last few months, really. So we do expect to see a big impact on our road network.
Claire Barnes for 10 News First.
The alleged carjacker accused of crashing into a Gold Coast tram will remain in custody after failing to apply for bail. Albert Hope is facing 9 charges, including assault occasioning bodily harm, after he threatened a female at the scene with a gel blaster gun. The 22-year-old is also charged with unlawful use of a motor vehicle. The case will be back in court again on June 18. Coming up, the rental app making it easier and cheaper for renters to break their lease. Also, a hidden drug den exposed in far north Queensland, plus putting pen to paper to bridge the generation divide and change lives along the way. And in sport, is an old face set for a Broncos comeback.
Get ready for MasterChef's greatest ever dish.
If there was ever a plate of food that has come through this kitchen this season that says, I am back to win, it's this dish.
In a week of amazing food, one contestant will do something unlike anything before.
That was incredible.
It just blows my mind. That was absolutely perfect. I would love to have in my menu.
Minds are blowing.
A bombshell. It was unbelievable.
I've never experienced anything like that.
My God, absolutely perfect.
MasterChef on 10. Best Dish Week starts 7:30 Sunday.
This is a Nature Valley checklist. Whole grain oats? Yes. Artificial colours and flavours? No. Delicious ingredients? Yes. Preservatives? No. Big taste? Yes. Nature Valley. Get more out.
Craig! I forgot your phone.
Melissa? Thank you. You okay?
Yeah.
It's a St George thing.
You'd never clean your surfaces with this, so why use this? Sponges can carry millions of germs. Dettol wipes kill germs instead of spreading them. Now biodegradable and compostable.
Work hard, play hard in a new Mitsubishi Triton GSR. With loads of intuitive tech and unique black styling, it's the new range topper. Nothing can frighten a Triton.
Do you have heartburn or indigestion? Gaviscon Dual Action relieves them both. It works fast, 2 ways. It neutralises excess stomach acid and it forms a protective barrier to help stop stomach acid from rising. Gaviscon Dual Action.
Well, what's for dinner?
Soup.
I hate soup.
Okay. Stew.
Ooh, stew.
Well, you decide then.
Anything you want is fine.
When you need to snap out of it, have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
At UE, we're all about how you use or don't use your car. So we're giving our clients and new clients temporary relief on their car insurance premiums if they're using their cars less right now. Go to UE.com.au. UE. You insured.
Manolo, you're so cold. Come in. What's wrong?
It's dry.
Your scalp might get dry in the winter too. Try Head & Shoulders Dry Scalp Care. It nourishes the scalp and keeps you up to 100% flake-free. Head & Shoulders Dry Scalp Care. Well, good afternoon as we head towards the weekend. Still some big dramas on the Logan Motorway westbound through Meadowbrook after earlier this afternoon a truck went into a barrier. Still some big delays back to the M1. No such delays up here on the Bruce Highway northbound. Looking fairly good up over the Pine River Bridge. A little bit of traffic back around that Dolly's Rocks Road exit, but certainly not too bad. Looking fairly good too on Sandgate Road both directions, and Gympie Road as you make your way through Aspley. A little bit of traffic up towards Castledine, but certainly not too bad. I'm Dave Andrews. Thanks to Mount Gravatt Skoda. Georgie, another check for you coming up later in the bulletin.
We'll see you again soon. Thank you, Dave. Police have busted wide open a sophisticated cannabis operation in the state's far north. The raid at the Gelatin property uncovered dozens of plants growing in a hydroponics room and 84 seedlings in another space. There was also more than 1.6 kilograms of the dried drug and cannabis oil. A 58-year-old man is facing multiple drug charges. He'll front court on August 17. Hours after he was released from police custody, the driver at the centre of that horrifying Sydney crash has been re-arrested. It's expected police will charge the 51-year-old over the smash that left more than a dozen people injured.
Smoking, screeching, then smashing. This was the heart-stopping moment a van crashed through a Greenacre hijab shop. 14 people were left battered and bloodied among the rubble as shocked onlookers rushed in to help yesterday.
There's a lot of screaming, the blood's everywhere and the glass, broken glasses, and I just wanted to help.
Steve Assar was among the heroes, helping free one shopper who was pinned beneath the wreckage. He also managed to talk with the driver, a 51-year-old man who sat expressionless.
I wanted to get him out of the car and ask him if he was all right. He just shook his head, but he wouldn't actually move.
So I hear the big bang, so I ran, that's my medical center. I came and I saw broken glass, a car inside, Mitsubishi, and there was a lot of glass pieces. There was 3 girls here in shock, bleeding from legs.
As the injured were stretchered to waiting ambulances, distressing footage of the aftermath flooded social media. That's sadly how Tariq Hashar learnt of the tragedy unfolding at his shop front.
I still have tears in my eyes. The store was completely destroyed. The counter area was demolished.
The owner's sister was among the injured. She was standing near the change rooms when the van came hurtling towards her. It wiped out the counter. She got out of the way just in time, but was showered with debris. Fortunately, those injured suffered only minor injuries and have all been released from hospital. Some believe only divine intervention prevented this from claiming lives days out from the end of Ramadan.
The fact that nobody was killed is truly a blessing in Ramadan.
The van driver was rearrested at a nearby home this afternoon, despite being released by police overnight. Investigators are desperately trying to figure out if he suffered a medical episode or if this was a deliberate act. Michael Hammond for 10 News First.
The South Sydney Rabbitohs will have to resume the season minus one of their biggest stars. News has just come through that Cody Walker has been suspended over that fight in Casino late last year. Ros Kelly joins me now. Ros, how long will Walker be on the sidelines?
Georgie, the NRL Integrity Unit has spent the week investigating the murky details surrounding that street fight involving Walker in his hometown of Casino in December. This afternoon, hitting the South Star with a 2-game suspension and fining the club $20,000 for failing to notify the NRL of the incident. Now, Walker only came forward and confessed to the NRL over the weekend after being blackmailed by a man who called his agent threatening to release footage of the fight to the media unless Walker paid him $20,000. Now, Georgie, in further breaking news unfolding here at NRL HQ, 10 News First also understands the league and the referees are on the verge of striking a deal, and we will have more information on that coming up in sport.
OK, thank you, Ros, live there in Sydney. During this period of social isolation, a group of schoolboys has rediscovered the art of letter writing. #OldMate unites aged care residents with young pen pals, and the results are heartwarming.
Dear Wendy, hi. I'm John in Year 6 at Churchy.
With a few simple words of greeting, a friendship begins across the generations.
This one surprised me. She likes playing computer games.
Olive heard all about Charlie's pet cockatiel.
He can say hello.
He can say hello and he mimics the phone ringing and dogs barking.
To stay safe and healthy. And it's from Charlie. He is lovely, isn't he?
The Anglican Church Grammar School kicked off a pen pal program with Year 5 and 6 boys, writing letters to those with so much to tell.
And another wonderful bonus, of course, is they've been advancing their writing skills. And it's always a great joy when young people find an important reason to write.
Nick had plenty of questions for his pen pal Olive.
What are her hobbies? And does she play any sports? Does she have any pets? And what's its name?
But it was Olive's love of knitting which proved the tightest connection.
I knitted the jumper I'm wearing.
My mom has the same jumper like this. It looks very same.
So there's a connection, yes, isn't there? Which is really, really lovely.
So far, more than 100 letters have been shared between the Churchy boys and residents at Brisbane's E.M. Tooth aged care home.
I was a young girl when the Second World War started. They were very scary and often hungry times.
It has been really different and I miss seeing my teachers and friends. I wonder how it's been for you.
The boys are being encouraged to maintain contact with their new best friends, and they've got a fair idea they're keen to do just that.
Yeah!
Genuine affection across so many years.
I hope you have the chance to write back to me. Thank you for your time. Kind regards, John.
Tim Collins for 10 News First.
Isn't that a lovely idea?
Certainly is, Georgie.
Well, Josh is back again with us, and a cooler day for the southeast, Josh.
Oh, it was bitterly cold out there today, Georgie. In fact, it was freezing across the central inland. Longreach had its coldest May day on record. We'll get to that in just a moment. Firstly, cast your eyes out into the Indian Ocean. A very late season cyclone, tropical cyclone Manga, which is currently a Category 1 system, just skirting the Cocos Islands tonight. We'll head towards WA over the weekend. As it does so, though, an ex-tropical transition will unfold, so it'll become a warm core system into a cold core system over the weekend, but still causing some severe weather over the coming days. But the temperatures today, that was the main focal point, freezing across parts of Brisbane. 18 degrees only the max this afternoon. That's whopping 6.5 degrees below average for this time of year. 19 was the top in Ipswich. That was 5 below average, and a cool day on the Gold Coast hitting 20 and the sunny coast hitting 18 today. But of course, a chilly weekend on the way, Georgie. All those details coming up 5 to 6.
See you then. Thanks, Josh. Ahead, Donald Trump's blatant snub at COVID protection policy. Also, a gunman's terror attack on a US naval base. And from Full House to the Big House, actress Lori Loughlin to be locked up over America's college scandal.
Be simply clever and visit Mount Gravatt Skoda. With European styling and a host of clever features, once you experience a Skoda, you won't look back. Mount Gravatt Skoda. Simply clever on Logan Road, or visit mountgravatskoda.com.au.
Hey, do you like chocolate?
I love chocolate.
Oh, do you love laughing?
Craziest thing I'd ever seen.
Do you love superheroes?
I love you guys so much.
Yes. You're going to love Tonight with Jamie and Graham from 7:30 on 10. You'll love to see it.
Hi, Chris. As one of our Care Super members, let's go see your super at work. Hold on. I'll show you some of the opportunities and possibilities that are being explored for you. Your super should work as hard as you do, so we're making sure it does.
If you've been injured and can't work, your normal life and income can suddenly stop. Check if you have an insurance claim through your super online in minutes, so you can start again. With Slater and Gordon, tomorrow starts today.
Muscle and osteopain can really tie you down. That pain is caused by inflammation. Nurofen helps reduce inflammation and relieve osteo and muscle pain for up to 8 hours. Break free with Nurofen.
What happens to all the dirt on your dishes? It flows in your dishwasher, affecting its cleaning performance. Add Finish In-Wash Dishwasher Cleaner, the only one that cleans your dishwasher while it cleans your dishes. Try Finish In-Wash Dishwasher Cleaner today.
In tough times, Queenslanders stand strong. We've weathered all kinds of natural disaster together. And while this crisis is like no other, RACQ will continue to be here for you. On the roads, in the skies, and from our homes. It's about Queenslanders helping Queenslanders. For members doing it tough financially, visit racq.com/help or call 13 1905. RACQ is here for you.
Every time you pre-rinse, you waste up to 40 litres of water. Try new Finish Quantum Ultimate Pro. It scrubs, degreases and provides the ultimate shine, so you don't need to pre-rinse. New Finish Quantum Ultimate Pro.
You know you'll make a great mom one day.
Wise men say.
You know, I had the weirdest cravings when I was pregnant with you. Pickles and ice cream.
Oh, if I can help falling in love with you.
Tough times don't excuse tougher times at home. Even in crisis, there's no place for abuse or domestic violence. If you or someone you know is affected, help is available online and by phone 24/7. For free, confidential advice, support and counselling for women and men, contact 1-800-RESPECT. There's no place for abuse or domestic violence. Help is here. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Even remotely, our home loan specialist can zoom into your home to help you save on your next loan.
In MasterChef's Best Dish Week, what will be the greatest ever dish?
My God.
Wow.
Hello there, it's the weekend and that's usually the time potential home buyers head out to an open house or two. But don't expect the market to be flooded with bargains. Fresh analysis by Domain shows there's no sign of urgent or distressed selling across the capital cities. Sydney, Perth, Adelaide and Hobart had a marginal increase in the proportion of urgent sale listings from February to mid-May. Brisbane and Canberra actually saw a decline. Melbourne and Darwin had no change at all. Now, according to Domain, it suggests homeowners owners are not being forced to sell despite the COVID-19 economic turmoil. Now, if you've been missing Myer, get ready for next Wednesday. The retailer has told investors it'll reopen its 60 stores by then. After a trial, it now feels comfortable to end its almost 2-month-long shutdown. That announcement saw shares in the department store soar up more than 9%, but it also benefited from a Wesfarmers decision that will see up to 167 Target and Target Country stores shut or be converted to Kmart's. Meanwhile, ANZ has confirmed it is raising one of its fixed home loan rates. There's been a surge in mortgage holders refinancing as good deals were rolled out during the pandemic. Overall, the share market finished almost down 1%. To the dollar, it's down against all the major currencies, and that's finance.
China has taken another big step in cracking down on dissent. Sweeping new security laws appear to be aimed at crushing the pro-democracy movement in Hong Kong, and it's already led to standoffs between protesters and police.
It's the most important political event on Beijing's calendar. The National People's Congress convening today, and top of the agenda, a controversial national security law for Hong Kong. It's angered activists who claim Beijing has broken its promise.
This is the end of Hong Kong. This is the end of one country, two systems.
Protesters are ready to once again take to the streets after almost a year of upheaval in the city. China wants to stop these violent scenes from repeating by imposing special branches of the central government within Hong Kong. In a bid to safeguard national security, the following would be forbidden. Any activity aimed at toppling the central government, including the burning of flags or defacing of symbols and monuments, as well as foreign interference and terrorism. The definition for both unclear in China. But what is clear is the United States' position.
If it happens, we'll address that issue very strongly.
Australia milder in its response, given the current trade tensions between Canberra and Beijing.
We want to make sure that one country, two systems continues to operate. We want to make sure that the rule of law, of course, is kept. Australia's relations with Hong Kong are very strong. We want those to continue.
Before COVID-19 swept through, there were 100,000 Australians living in Hong Kong. Their future, along with millions of others, now even more uncertain. Stella Todorovic for 10 News First.
Donald Trump has once again refused to wear a mask in front of the cameras despite touring a Ford plant where it was compulsory. The US president was there as part of a visit to Michigan, a key battleground state in this year's election.
Well, I had one on before. I wore one in this back area, but I didn't want to give the press the pleasure of seeing it.
Across the country, another 2.4 million people filed for unemployment last week, even with nearly every state reopened. Almost 39 million Americans have now lost their jobs in 9 weeks. A new study estimates 1 in 6 Londoners have had coronavirus. The antibody study also revealed about 5% of people across England have been infected, a much higher rate than previously thought. Officially, 250,000 Brits have tested positive, leading to more than 36,000 deaths. Senior International Olympics official John Coates has warned there's a real chance the Tokyo Games might not go ahead at all. At a News Corp roundtable, Coates said the approval of a coronavirus vaccine before next July may not be enough to save the event, with the outbreak so severe in some countries. Officials are expected to reassess their plans in October. IOC President Thomas Bach says the Games would have to be cancelled entirely if they can't take place next July. The death toll from Cyclone Amphan has reached almost 90. Large parts of Kolkata, home to more than 14 million people, remain underwater, while tens of thousands of homes across India and Bangladesh have been destroyed. Amphan is the most powerful storm to hit the region in more than a decade. The FBI says a shooting at a Texas naval base that wounded a guard and left the gunman dead was an act of terrorism. Authorities say the suspect tried to speed through a gate before opening fire on security guards. A female sailor was hit and is being treated for minor injuries. Guards fatally shot the suspect when he got out of the car. American actress Lori Loughlin and her husband have agreed to plead guilty for their part in a college admissions scandal. The deal will see the 55-year-old serve 2 months in prison, while her husband has agreed to 5 months behind bars. The couple allegedly paid more than $760,000 to get their 2 daughters into university by faking their athletic achievements. Well, stay with us. Tonight's top stories follow the break. Also, our emergency services get their goggles on to fight fires the high-tech way. And finding love in lockdown, the upside of dating in the corona pandemic.
Tonight, not everyone's on board with the latest easing of restrictions. We'll get the Deputy Chief Medical Officer's take.
And we'll look at the nasty showdown between travel agencies and customers demanding COVID-19 refunds.
The tax office fined $60 billion down the back of the JobKeeper couch. All I found was 2 pens and an apple core, but still good.
Not bad! And I've got a bunch of Aussies keen to show us the skills that they've learned while cooped up at home.
All that and a whole lot more coming up at 6:30. See you then.
Monday, the race is on. At 7:30, it's MasterChef's toughest team relay ever.
Here they come.
Then the race continues, but are they paying attention?
Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. Could we get Glenn's carer around?
Be a part of Tam's must-see Monday race.
At ANZ, we're here to help you get on top of your money. So if you need a hand banking from home, support through the ups and downs of business, or to ease the pressures of your home loan, we're here and ready to help.
Beat the cold at Harvey Norman with the best in heating and air treatment solutions. Stay warm this winter with our range of ceramic, radiant and fan heaters, convection, column and panel heaters, the latest in gas and electric flame effect models, heated throws and electric blankets, plus a huge range of reverse cycle air conditioners. Treat the air quality in your home with everything from air purifiers to humidifiers. Harvey Norman has all the big brands at great prices. Visit us in store or online. Harvey Norman, your heating and air treatment specialist.
Go! Outside, it's something to look at. But inside, it's a space to be. A space we fit our lives into. A space that brings us closer. That spans generations. Where we go to let go. In a Mazda, this space is 100 years in the making. And summed up in 2 words. Zoom, zoom.
In 1 week, a lot will happen in your life. Who has time for wrinkles? Neutrogena Rapid Wrinkle Repair's derm-proven retinol worked so fast, it takes only 1 week to reveal younger-looking skin. Neutrogena.
In tough times, Queenslanders stand strong. We've weathered all kinds of natural disaster together. And while this crisis is like no other, RACQ will continue to be here for you. On the roads, in the skies and from our homes. It's about Queenslanders helping Queenslanders. For members doing it tough financially, visit racq.com/help or call 13 1905. RACQ is here for you.
When cold and flu symptoms strike, a kiss can make them feel better. But for effective relief through the night, there's Nurofen for children. Starts to reduce fever from 15 minutes and lasts for up to 8 hours. Nurofen for children.
The world's most exotic fragrances are made by nature. That's why we've created Botanica fragrances, infused with natural ingredients that are responsibly sourced. Botanica by Airwick.
Infused oil deluxe crisps from Red Rock Deli.
Get AHM hospital cover from only $15.75 a week. Yay. It's that easy, so you can get back to doing whatever it is you like to do. Even that. Find out more and join AHM Direct today. AHM, the simple bit.
In MasterChef's Best Dish Week, which one of these amazing dishes is the greatest ever dish?
Wow.
again. Well, still big delays on the Logan motorway westbound through Meadowbrook this afternoon. About 5 hours ago, a truck went into a barrier. Still a lane out of action there, and still some big delays as they work on that well into the night. That's the run on the Gateway a short time ago. Northbound up through Nudgee, all the way through to the Bruce Highway, looking pretty good. Sandgate Road up through Virginia. Northbound up towards Boondles, moving through quite nicely. And once you jump onto the Bruce Highway, that's a good run north over the Pine River Bridge, all the way up past North Lakes. I'm Dave Andrews. Thanks to Mount Gravatt Skoda. Have yourself a great weekend. I'll see you Monday.
Tonight's top stories: 3 mates die in a horror crash on the Western Downs. Their female friend is fighting for life in the PA hospital, while another male escaped with minor injuries. Major retailer Target is in turmoil, with half of all stores to either be shut down or converted to Kmart, leaving more than 1,000 jobs at risk. And in a huge accounting error, the bill from the new JobKeeper scheme has been slashed by a whopping $60 billion. Our firefighters are taking a high-tech approach to training. Officers today swapped their safety gear for goggles, diving headfirst into a new virtual reality system. It allows them to not only tackle difficult situations out of harm's way, but enables instructors to give real-time teaching.
It's no longer just looking at a picture, it's actually being able to feel it as well. So the heat vest of being able to feel the fire, the tension on the hose when you do things. This is a whole new level.
It's taken years to develop the technology, and it couldn't have come at a better time, with COVID-19 forcing authorities to rethink how to implement group training. Well, there's a lot that's changed during 2020 after the world was thrown into isolation. One of the hardest challenges has been finding love, but the experts say this could be one of the best times to start a new relationship.
Working on the pandemic front line, Emily Lee has met more people than most this year. But behind a mask, she's found it impossible to meet that special someone. There's also this.
When I meet people, this is what I do. 100% everyone says feels like the swabs back into their brain.
So you're not making a really nice connection?
No, not at all.
Finding love in the time of COVID, it's the worst of times and the best of times.
Also gives you a chance to slow the connection down and savour the getting to know you period, which actually can be very good for the long term.
After months of no bars, no events and no restaurants, video dates are really blossoming.
So we've seen people cooking together or ordering the same, getting dressed up for a dinner date and ordering the same takeaway, or drinking the same bottle of wine.
With 4 million users in Australia, dating app Bumble has seen a 76% spike in video calls in just the past 3 months. Dating app Hinge has customised some backgrounds that you can use on your next Zoom date. So if the beach isn't hotting up for you, you could move the romance fireside or get back to nature in this botanic garden. But there is an even better option, I think. This is the best cocktail bar in town because the drinks are cheap. They're all homemade. Soon, Emily will get back to her usual patience as a cosmetic nurse and hopes her patience in love pays off. Ali Donaldson for 10 News First.
Well, it is sport time now, Jono. Yet another headache for Rugby Australia.
Yeah, that's right, a headache they didn't really need at the time, Georgie. Thank you. Helleran coming up, a current Wallaby, and 2 of the game's most promising players quit the Queensland Reds after a bitter pay dispute. That's next. Also, he's been playing the 15-man code for the last 6 years, but is Ben Teo ready for a rugby league return? And the last man standing, Darius Boyd, relives the Broncos' last premiership in this week's Moment in Time.
Be simply clever and visit Mount Gravatt Skoda. With European styling and a host of clever features, once you experience a Skoda, you won't look back. Mount Gravatt Skoda. Simply clever on Logan Road, or visit mountgravattskoda.com.au.
What does the future hold for bricks and mortar retailers? That's next.
My wife, before she passed away, she said, get yourself a little dog.
This is Ruby.
Her owner died. When she come in, she was dragging her towel. She's coming to you now.
Thank you.
That was when her towel went up. She's happy with us.
Yeah. It's a match made in doggy heaven, 7 o'clock Saturday.
Are you ready for over 50s designer resort style living, but are having trouble selling your home? At Palm Lake Resort, let us take the stress out of selling. We'll buy your home.
so you can start your new lifestyle today.
We had a phone call from Palm Lake with the most amazing offer. They offered to take our home from us and we could have this home up here. It was our dreams come true. It's unbelievable.
Sell your home stress-free and save money with no agent fees or commission. We'll even pay for your removal costs.
As soon as we walked in and looking at the homes, looking at the facilities, looking at how your lifestyle could be, you know, like, what more can you want?
This special offer is for a limited time only. So contact us today to arrange a free appraisal. Palm Lake Resort. This is your time.
Special occasions should be celebrated, but Tim suffers heartburn and Tom suffers indigestion, so they use Gaviscon Dual Action, which, like all antacids, neutralises stomach acid, but also forms a protective barrier against reflux. Try Gaviscon Dual Action.
For professional advice and healthy savings every day, visit Good Price Pharmacy Warehouse.
Get the Swiss Vitamin range half price, plus Pharmacy Essentials antibacterial wipes just $2. At Good Price Pharmacy Warehouse, we'll be there.
Trust RACQ Home and Contents Insurance to protect the things that make your home yours, inside and out. Cover more of what matters with RACQ. Buy online now and save up to $75.
What happens to all the dirt on your dishes? It flows in your dishwasher, affecting its cleaning performance. Add Finish In-Wash Dishwasher Cleaner, the only one that cleans your dishwasher while it cleans your dishes. Try Finish In-Wash Dishwasher Cleaner today.
Mackenzie Aged Care has opened its brand new aged care community in the heart of Buderim. Permanent and respite care, family owned and operated. Book a tour today, 1300 899 222, or visit our website.
Lendy is helping thousands of households save on average about $2,832 in interest over the next year on their home loans. That's millions in savings for Aussies when they need it most. How can Lendy help you save?
In MasterChef's Best Dish Week, who will make the greatest ever dish?
My God. Wow.
Welcome back. Former Bronco Ben Teo says his interests remain with rugby union and the Sunwolves, despite being linked to a return to his old club. The 2014 NRL premiership winner admitting it would take a lot for him to make a rugby league comeback.
Ben Teo striding out at Red Hill outside of the Broncos bubble. A blast from the past with a purpose.
You know, I've been out of the game for a while now, but, you know, I enjoy the training. It just reminds me of the old days. I enjoy the hard training and, you know, it's going to benefit me whatever I do next.
The 33-year-old is currently contracted to the Sunwolves, but with the Japanese Super Rugby franchise likely to be left out of any revamped Australian competition, Teo may soon have to weigh up his options.
I haven't really thought past rugby union, to be honest. Like I said, I'm still contracted.
Any Broncos interest is unofficial at the moment, and even then they'd only be able to offer a minimum wage deal. Not to mention the challenges of trying to return to a code he hasn't played since 2014.
You know, I'm still a Sunwolf at the moment, and still hopeful that rugby union will get going with the Super Rugby. And then, you know, if unfortunately that doesn't happen, then you know, I'll see what happens.
Bryce Cartwright and Brian Kelly appear set to face the consequences of missing training during the game's flu shot drama. Titans coach Justin Holbrook conceding they're not yet fit enough.
Bryce has missed a full week and Brian Kelly actually missed the week before as well, so he's missed 2 weeks. So depending how they can get up to speed, you know, we haven't had a big window of training.
There's no question the whole squad needs to lift, with just 18 games to improve after dropping the first 2 rounds of the season.
No excuses, you know, it wasn't good enough and no one's happy with how we've gone, which is great.
Veronica Eggleton for 10 News First.
Cody Walker has copped a 2-match ban and $15,000 suspended fine for his role in a street fight last December. The NRL Integrity Unit also handing South Sydney a $20,000 fine for covering up the incident. The fight came to light earlier this week after Walker claimed he was being blackmailed.
Obviously, it's something that he's not proud of, and he's remorseful for everything that's happened. So we've left it there.
Meanwhile, it appears the NRL has prevailed in arbitration with the referees this afternoon. The game is expected to confirm soon. They'll play with just one referee from next week. The relationship between the Reds players Isaac Rodda, Isaac Lucas and Harry Hockings looks set to be irreparable after the trio's manager terminated their contracts today. He accused Queensland Rugby of having no legal basis for standing down his players on Monday.
The Ballymore gates have been locked a lot lately, usually to protect players and staff from the spread of COVID-19 while training. But today there was an added reason, everyone remaining tight-lipped about Isaac Rodda, Harry Hockings and Isaac Lucas and the termination of their own contracts.
I can't make a comment on that.
Sad to see them go at least.
Hang on. Oh yeah.
Disappointed with Queensland Rugby's decision to stand them down Monday, in a statement via manager Anthony Picone, the trio stated the QRU had no legal basis. They were given considerable opportunity to withdraw the notice. They failed to do so. And given the parlous state of rugby, we offered them the opportunity to deal with these matters in private. It was rejected. While the trio say they respect their former teammates for signing reduced contracts, it has left a big hole in the club's playing stocks as a return to the field slowly nears. Picone has had a tempestuous relationship with the Reds and Rugby Australia. Last year it was reported he was frozen out of contract talks. Out of 192 players, they remain the only 3 to balk at the salary slashes. Josh McLean for 10 News First.
Working from home takes creativity, such as going upstairs to practice work from downtown. Now it's a big step up from here to the pros, but for showing plenty of promise, this young baller can score our play of the day. As the NRL counts down the days until the season restart, the Broncos will once again turn their attention to breaking their premiership drought. Darius Boyd is the only player remaining from their last title in 2006, a victory that's this week's moment in time.
October 1st, 2006 wasn't meant to be the Broncos' day.
They are the champions again!
The sweetest one we won at the Broncos. Yeah. No one gave this team a chance.
The first grand final to feature 2 teams outside of Sydney, powerhouse the Melbourne Storm had lost just 4 games on their way to the decider. Labelled too old, this Broncos side proved to be just the right vintage, backed up by Brisbane's perfect 5 from 5 grand final record.
Probably more Wayne's stat than the club's stat. Even though Wayne was the only coach to have them through that.
Another Wayne Bennett masterstroke, a mid-season drinking ban.
That was something that helped, just having a bit of a bond together to do something.
A bond which paid dividends on grand final day. Brent Tate's 60th minute try edged Brisbane ahead.
He could have definitely passed to me, but yeah, I'd rather him score it than him try to pass and I've dropped the ball or something.
Before Darren Lockyer iced a field goal to hand Shane Webke the perfect end to his 254-game career. The party starting early at Webke's Leeburn pub.
Crazily, I allowed free drink. I don't know what I was thinking.
They were far from the last drinks to flow. Mobbed on their return home, there were days of celebration. A lot for a 19-year-old Darius Boyd to take in.
I'd come out of school, played 27 games, missed 1 game that year and played the grand final. We won, and how good's this?
And how rare. Brisbane hasn't won a Proven Summons trophy since.
As years go on, you're not there. It gets harder to watch, and probably more that you realise that he's really got to enjoy the wins and losses even just through a season.
A moment in time Boyd won't forget as he plays out the final chapter of his career.
I wanted to play 1 game for the Broncos when I was a little kid, so to do what I've done, I can't describe really the gratitude that I have.
Veronica Eggleton for 10 News First.
A long time between premiership victories there, Georgie. Don't mean time will tell if they can do it this year.
I know, it'd be nice to see again, wouldn't it? Thanks, Jono. A cool weekend on the way. Josh has all the details next.
Is China plotting the end of Hong Kong as we know it? That's next.
Get ready for MasterChef's greatest ever dish.
That was incredible. Incredible.
It just blows my mind. That was absolutely perfect.
I've never experienced anything like that.
Best Dish Week starts Sunday.
Even remotely, our home loan specialists can zoom into your home to help you save on your next loan.
Domino's $5 pizzas are incredible value. They're made with fresh dough and vine-ripened tomato sauce, topped with stretchy and tastier mozzarella, and served with total peace of mind, thanks to zero contact pickup from Domino's.
See the latest trend-setting interior shaker doors. With solid panels, safe glass or mirror options, and we can install, you'll be spoilt for choice. Visit a showroom and book your free measuring quote. Doors Plus, no fuss.
When cold and flu symptoms strike, a kiss can make them feel better. But for effective relief through the night, there's Nurofen for children. Starts to reduce fever from 15 minutes and lasts for up to 8 hours. Nurofen for children.
The world's most exotic fragrances are made by nature. That's why we've created Botanica Fragrances, infused with natural ingredients that are responsibly sourced. Botanica by Airwick.
Someone's saving on kitchen stuff from eBay.
Yeah, that's where I get all my essentials from. Just magically turns up on my door.
And how do you think that happened?
It was just on Match.com.
From the executive producer of Bridesmaids comes Stan's new series, Love Life.
I just want to be the kind of woman who knows what she wants and she's not afraid to go after it.
Starring Academy Award nominee Anna Kendrick.
Why do you need a boyfriend right now? This isn't Jane Austen times. Oh my God! I ran into Augie for the first time in 2 years. No. Wearing Crocs. Ew.
The brand new series, Love Life, premieres May 27, only on Stan.
Save 20% on your second policy when you buy new, eligible Suncorp home and car insurance together before July 10. Helping you save when you need it most. That's the Suncorp spirit.
We spend billions on them every year, but are energy drinks killing us? One grieving mum's plea to anyone who thinks they're harmless.
Plus,
You love me.
Seinfeld is back.
Pretty soon people are going to go, you know what? You've had your time. Move on.
Jokes are on Jerry. Monday on Studio 10.
It is weather time, Josh. The westerly winds are set to keep the weekend cool.
Yeah, that's right, Georgie. Disobey those maximum temperatures. It'll be the apparent temperature or feel-like temperature due to those westerly winds that'll be particularly cold. Let's go to the weather cam where today we hit tops of 18 degrees in the CBD. And right now we're sitting on 15, but the apparent temperature or feel-like temperature in the city right now sitting on around about 11 degrees. At the airport, it's feeling like 8. So if you are venturing outside this evening, make sure you rug up. It is cool out there. Humidity, as you would expect, dry at 51%, and the winds from the west at 17 kilometres per hour. A very interesting satellite picture at the moment. As you can see, a very large cloud band in and across the northern parts of Australia and pushing into areas of Queensland today. This is all due to a bit of moisture coming in over the northern areas of Australia and also some cold air from the south interacting with that. We've got an east coast low sitting off the New South Wales coast. We've had wind speeds down there at around about 80, 90 kilometres per hour this afternoon. And the other interesting weather feature that we have at the moment is situated in the Indian Ocean. This is Tropical Cyclone Manga. It's currently a Category 1 system. It should brush past the Cocos Islands as we get through this evening as it tracks towards WA over Saturday and Sunday. Now, as this happens, it will have an extra tropical transition. What does that mean? Well, at the moment, it's a tropical cyclone, so it's got a warm core. But what will happen is it'll transform into a cold core low pressure system, similar to what you see in the Southern Ocean or in the Tasman Sea, and that will track towards areas of WA. So it won't hit as a tropical cyclone, but still causing some significant weather over Sunday, Monday next week. We're talking about damaging winds, heavy rainfall and even possible storm surges along the coastal fringe. Elsewhere, though, as you can see, that tropical low starting to push away from the New South Wales coast, so the situation will ease. But we've got that cold southerly airstream pushing into Queensland. That'll keep things pretty cold over the weekend. Looking at the rainfall tomorrow, well, we've got showers and areas of rain north of around about Mount Isa to Fraser Island tomorrow, and possible morning frost across most of southern Queensland. The other feature we've got for Saturday is a sheep grazies alert. Now, this extends right across areas of the Maranoa and Warrego and the Darling Downs and Granite Belt forecast districts. So take note of that if you are on the land. Interstate and Sydney tomorrow, well, conditions should begin to ease from today, 17 degrees with the chance of a shower. Melbourne going for a chance of a shower as well, and 15, hitting the same mark in Hobart. 1 degree better in Adelaide, topping out at 16 with the chance of a shower as well. Probably Perth seeing the best of the weather tomorrow, 27 degrees and sunshine. Darwin not looking too shabby either, going for 26 degrees. A little bit on the cooler side due to that extensive cloud cover across northern areas of Australia at the moment. Now, for the north part of Queensland, we're looking at rain periods tomorrow for Cairns, Townsville and Atherton. So another wet day on the way. You can throw in Mackay as well with 17 degrees. Also the chance of rain for Rocky and also Bundaberg. Just the chance of a shower for Maryborough and 17. For the southeast, we're looking at a partly cloudy day. Overnight temperatures falling to between 6 and 10 degrees. A chilly start tomorrow with daytime temperatures reaching between 14 and 18. Now, this was superb snapper earlier today on the Golden Sunshine Coast Saturday. Swarby easterly 1 to 1.5 metres. Not looking too bad this weekend, although it will be a little bit cool in the water with winds west to southwesterly. On Sunday, swell again from the east up to 1.5 metres with winds west to southwesterly again. Out on the bay, we're looking at westerlies 15 to 20 knots, but reaching up to 25 knots a little bit later in the day, and those seas 1.5 metres. For Brisbane City, 17 the top, but forget that, it'll feel more like 12 degrees tomorrow if you're venturing outside. So rug up, it will be a cold one. Staying cool Sunday with a top 21, down to 9 overnight Sunday morning. And look at this, Ipswich down to 4 degrees first thing on Sunday. The extended forecast of the Golden Sunshine Coast coming up shortly.
The best of mates killed in a triple tragedy on the Western Downs. Tonight, tributes are pouring in for the victims as their female friend fights for life. Jobs targeted as one of Australia's biggest retailers looks to close stores and rebrand others. And see for yourself, tourism operators put a challenge to the Premier in a desperate bid to get her to rethink the border ban. 3 mates are dead and 2 others are in hospital after a car slammed into a tree and burst into flames near Chinchilla. Brendan Savage joins us now. Brendan, how did this awful tragedy occur?
Georgie, police are still trying to piece it all together, but it's believed the car was travelling at speed on a rain-slicked road when it lost control and collided with a tree just south of Chinchilla. Emergency services raced to the scene just before 6 last night, but there was nothing they could do for the 3 men in the back seats. 2 of them have been identified as mates Clinton Thompson and Casey Ian Porter, both aged in their mid-30s from Tara. "Love you, bro. Words can't say enough," said one mourner on social media about Mr. Thompson. The third victim was a 40-year-old man from Dalby. Incredibly, 2 people somehow survived this horrific crash. The 49-year-old male passenger who was in the front seat suffered only minor injuries and was able to pull the driver, a 42-year-old female, from the wreckage. She was airlifted to the PA hospital where she's fighting for life.
So the initial Chinchilla crew that arrived, like I said, were confronted with quite a horrific scene.
Our investigations will continue, in the coming days to try and get a better understanding of what actually occurred.
A witness has told investigators the Commodore overtook them on the road at speed just before the crash. Police don't know at this stage whether drugs or alcohol were involved in the incident or if charges would be laid.
Thank you, Brendan, with that update. It's a tough day for Target workers across the country, with hundreds facing the sack. Parent company Wesfarmers will turn 92 stores into Kmarts and shut dozens more in a bid to shore up the retailer's future. Gillian Bowen has the details.
The writing was on the wall for Target before COVID-19 hit, but the pandemic will make things more difficult. Dozens of stores will close across the country after what owners Wesfarmers have described as an unsustainable financial performance.
I didn't know that so many stores were going to close. I think that's a great pity.
A bit disappointing. If they're going to change to Kmart, then at least they will, you've still got employment around the area.
So how many will be impacted? Up to 167 Target and Target Country stores. Around 92 will be converted into Kmarts, but up to 25 Targets will close and 50 Target Country stores, which mainly operate in regional areas, they'll shut.
So it is a smaller, lower cost, more competitive business to give it a chance to be sustainable in the future.
Now up to 1,300 jobs hang in the balance.
Well, in New South Wales, I think it's up to 400. Victoria, around about 300. In Queensland, I think it's around about 200.
But both the union and Wesfarmers have a strong hope a large number of them will be redeployed through the rest of the company's group, which includes Bunnings stores and Officeworks. Around 125 Target stores will be left after the restructure. Just how Wesfarmers plans to keep them viable, well, all should be revealed when the company gives its full year results in August. And what we do know is that there will be continued investment in the Target and Kmart websites because more and more customers are choosing to do their shopping online.
The Gold Coast tourism sector is mounting a campaign for the Premier to reopen our borders immediately. As Matthew Howard reports, tensions are flaring as struggling businesses stare down another 2 months of closures.
Hopes of July hotel bookings have quickly evaporated across the Gold Coast after the announcement that the border restrictions could remain in place until September. The Ruby Collection in Surfers Paradise had been conducting deep cleans in every room in preparation for guest arrivals that are now being cancelled.
Obviously, we're now heavily reliant on domestic, so with the borders closed internationally, reduces the amount of people that we would normally welcome to the hotel.
In Coolangatta, businesses surrounding the police checkpoint say their hopes of holding on beyond July look bleak.
We do rely on walk-by trade, holiday makers, and the borders being closed has really been damaging.
Many want the Premier to visit the area to see the crossing in action and face criticism that it's not working.
People, are parking just back inside New South Wales and walking across. And I'm not talking ones and twos, I'm talking dozens and dozens of people.
The flow-on effects from the border through to northern tourist suburbs like Surfers Paradise and Broadbeach are compounding daily.
Realistically, we're just paying wages, we're not making any money, and we're going backward at a rate of knots.
Destination Gold Coast is critical of the border decision, saying every week it's closed, it's costing the city tens of millions of dollars that can never be recovered.
That situation is simply not acceptable, not only for Gold Coast tourism sector, but for the economy and ratepayers as a whole.
Most business owners agree they'll see immediate relief the moment the borders are reopened.
Queensland schools are set to fully reopen next week as years 2 to 10 head back to the classroom. But as Claire Barnes reports, commuters are being warned to leave extra travel time come Monday morning.
Well, from next week, there will be more traffic back on our roads than we've seen in months. Weekday traffic has been down more than 30% in the southeast, but that will start to pick up again as schools fully reopen. From Monday, years 2 to 10 will also be back in the classroom. The Education Department says extra cleaning time has been allocated and many schools have already implemented staggered start times.
I guess it alleviates a lot of the pick-up zone debacles that happen in every school and issues associated with that, but it will also mean that we'll have less adults on the site at any one given time.
The well-being of staff and students is paramount in any school leader's mind. Yes, I am confident that schools have got necessary practices and structures in place.
Well, the return to school will also see more students and commuters back on public transport, which has seen a 71% drop in patronage.
Use your common sense, social distance wherever you can. There's certainly a lot of space on public transport at the moment. So there's no problem at the moment in terms of social distancing.
The Transport Minister says extra services may be put on if demand increases as more Queenslanders gradually return to the workplace.
A massive accounting error has revealed the federal government's JobKeeper scheme will cost the country significantly less than first reported. It turns out there aren't 6 million Australians relying on the scheme, but rather closer to 3 million. The bungle adds an extra $60 billion to the federal budget's bottom line.
This is a very uncertain time. I'm not blaming Treasury and I'm not blaming the ATO.
There are now calls for the Morrison government to explain why the scheme can't be expanded to include casual workers who have been with an employer for less than 12 months. Mining companies are remaining optimistic after China announced changes to its iron ore inspection rules. But state media in Beijing is warning it may be a sign our most lucrative exports could become collateral damage in an escalating trade war.
First it was barley, then beef. Now China is cooling on our coal and iron ore, with reports Beijing is warning state-owned power plants to prioritise domestic product and shun new Australian shipments.
China has in the past introduced quotas of this style. It's not unusual.
But the timing is suspicious, given trade tensions are heating up and the commodities are Australia's most lucrative exports.
China needs Australia just as much as Australia needs China.
We have a quality product, we produce it at a very cost-effective price. This is one of our best markets and will continue.
He's yet to speak with his Chinese counterpart but faces joining Trade Minister Simon Birmingham and Agriculture's David Littleproud on an unenviable list of pollies who can't get their peers in Beijing to pick up the phone. As Australia, China and the United States continue to trade barbs over the coronavirus inquiry, another war of words has broken out, but on home soil.
The world was always going to have an inquiry into COVID-19. Of course it was. And China was always going to agree. So we didn't need to be out there in front offending the Chinese.
It's a disastrous situation that Australian politics has stooped to this level, weaponising foreign policy, our sovereignty and our security.
But Labor leader Anthony Albanese thinks we should be more worried about another inflammatory comment.
And I know a lot of people set their hair on fire about climate change and all the rest, and yes, it is important.
It's entirely inappropriate. The government has conceded that climate change was one of the factors in the devastating bushfires that saw a loss of life.
While the Home Affairs Minister is still hung up on the Queensland Premier not reopening borders.
When she starts listening to me, well, no, she's talking a bit of common sense, I'd say.
We're all in trouble
at the moment.
Tegan George for 10 News First.
Coming up, a call to arms in China as protests ramp up, also taking the stress out of breaking your lease. The new app helping renters save time and money. Plus, when your number comes up and it lands you some royal bingo. And in sport, the Reds go behind closed doors after 3 of their stars quit.
Music, sports and snorting milk. Tommy's new segment has got it all as at-home Aussies show us their tricks. That's next.
Does anti-dandruff shampoo leave your hair dry? New Dove Dermacare Scalp is different. Tiffany used Dove on one side of her hair. The side with Dove is smooth. It fights dandruff and keeps hair smooth and nourished with no compromise. New Dove Dermacare Scalp.
When cold and flu symptoms strike, a kiss can make them feel better. But for effective relief through the night, there's Nurofen for children. Starts to reduce fever from 15 minutes and lasts for up to 8 hours. Nurofen for children.
As a proud Australian company, Andersons are keeping it real with our first ever Australian-made sale, supporting our local manufacturers. For a limited time, you'll save 20% off the entire range of premium Australian-made floor coverings and window furnishings store-wide. We have stock ready for your home, rental property or business. So call Andersons today for a free, safe, in-home design consultation. Now that's a real deal.
With McDelivery, Macca's comes to you contact-free. Get free delivery every weekend on Macca's orders $25 or more via the Uber Eats app. Visit Macca's social pages for this weekend's promo code.
Beat
the cold at Harvey Norman with the best in heating and air treatment solutions. Stay warm this winter with our range of ceramic, radiant and fan heaters, convection, column and panel heaters, the latest in gas and electric flame effect models, heated throws and electric blankets, plus a huge range of reverse cycle air conditioners. Treat the air quality in your home with everything from air purifiers to humidifiers. Harvey Norman has all the big brands at great prices. Visit us in store or online. Harvey Norman, your heating and air treatment specialist.
Go! We remain dedicated to helping Australians. We've introduced a help program with a range of relief options to assist customers currently in need. Call us to find out how we can tailor help options for you.
At Coles, we're helping lower the cost of your dinner with some of the key ingredients for delicious beef and thyme burgers, like Coles brioche buns, 4-pack, just $2.70 every day, and Coles frozen chips 1 kilo pack, down to $1.90. With Coles beef and thyme burgers on Mix Match and Save, any of these 2 packs for just $12. For more great recipes and weekly specials, sign up for the digital catalogue at coles.com.au. Coles, good things, great value.
When you feel at your worst, new Lemsip capsules are at their best. Its all-in-one formula fights 8 major cold and flu symptoms, helping you feel all-round relief. Try the power of Lemsip, now available in capsules.
Creating the ultimate memories sometimes means creating the toughest stains. Improved Omo Ultimate is Omo's most powerful laundry liquid. It attacks your tough stains first time and whitens and brightens. Try Omo Ultimate.
Hey, do you like chocolate?
I love chocolate.
Oh, do you love laughing?
Craziest thing I'd ever seen.
Do you love superheroes?
I love you guys so much.
Yes. You're gonna love Tonight with Jamie and Graham from 7:30 on 10. You'll love to see it.
Pro-democracy activists in Hong Kong are calling for a resurgence in protests this weekend against sweeping new security laws announced by China's Communist Party. The People's Assembly in Beijing is set to pass the laws in the coming week, which critics say will effectively criminalise anti-government dissent.
So they are announcing to the world that Hong Kong is no longer under one country, two system. It is now one country, one system.
Donald Trump says the US will react strongly against the Chinese government. Criticism of the laws inside mainland China is hard to find, with Western news networks suddenly turning to black. Australia is experiencing its highest rental vacancy rates in years as struggling tenants are forced to break their lease during the pandemic. But an innovative new app is making the process a little easier and less expensive.
Jane Caldwell and Quincy Hewitt have made the daunting decision to pack up their rental property 4 months early as the pandemic pushes many to breaking point.
So there's loads of people out there, I think, who are really struggling right now.
But a new app launched today aims to help those tenants doing it tough as vacancy rates skyrocket around the country. Break Your Lease allows renters to advertise their property in the hope someone will take over their agreement.
You sign in, do your username, and then you simply just list it. So you add your photos, add the description, add the price per week, the remaining period of the tenancy left.
Right now, you can list residential and commercial properties for free, along with gym memberships. But after this month, it will come at a cost.
As a general rule, you will be liable for that weekly rent. And so the faster you can find someone to take the place, or the faster you can come to an arrangement with the landlord, the better it will be for the tenant financially.
According to real estate website Domain, Australia's rental vacancy rate jumped to 2.5% in April, with some states recording their highest vacancy rate in years. Sydney and Melbourne saw the biggest month-on-month increase, with rental vacancy rates rising 1.2%, while Brisbane, Adelaide and Perth weren't far behind.
And what we are seeing is those tenants who are in financial distress and are COVID impacted are generally successfully negotiating good outcomes with their landlords.
Samantha Butler for 10 News First.
The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have taken turns as guest bingo callers for nursing home residents in Wales. Armed with their own bingo spinner, the couple even used the proper bingo lingo.
George would like this one. 5 and 5, snakes alive.
1 and 7, dancing queen. Are we drawing these numbers badly?
The appearance is part of the couple's focus on how nursing homes and their staff are coping during the COVID-19 pandemic. Not a bad job.
Plenty of fun. Yeah.
Well, Jono's back now with another look at sport.
Thank you, Georgie. Hello again. The Integrity Unit has punished both South Sydney and Cody Walker for covering up his role in a street fight last year. Walker has copped a 2-game ban, while the club's been hit with a $20,000 fine. Ros Kelly has more.
The NRL has come down hard on South star Cody Walker for his involvement in a street fight in his hometown of Casino in December. This afternoon, hitting Walker with a 2-game suspension and fining the club $20,000 for failing to notify the NRL of the incident. Now, Walker and Souths have 5 days to respond to the breach notice, although Walker did admit earlier this week that he will cop any punishment sweet. This does mean he will sit out 2 of the biggest games of the year against the Roosters next Friday and then a round 4 match against the heavyweights Melbourne Storm. While the NRL Integrity Unit also upheld the punishments imposed on Josh Addo-Carr and Latrell Mitchell for their infamous boys' weekend away mid-pandemic.
Ros Kelly reporting there. Former Maroon star Ben Teo hasn't entirely closed the door on an NRL return. The 33-year-old continues to train with the Broncos outside of their bubble as he waits for news on the future of Super Rugby. Teo admitting he'd have to weigh up his options if the Sunwolves aren't included in a revised Australian competition.
I'm still a Sunwolf at the moment and still hopeful that rugby union will get going with the Super Rugby. And then, you know, if unfortunately that doesn't happen, then, you know, I'll see what happens.
Teo hasn't played NRL since 2014. The Queensland Reds will be lighter on talent when matches do return after Wallaby Isaac Rodder, along with rising stars Harry Hockings and Isaac Lucas, terminated their own contracts today. The trio's manager insists they're disappointed at being stood down publicly by the QRU on Monday, saying there was no legal basis for the decision. For the first time since the AFL shutdown, we got our first serious glimpse at the coast springing back to life. So let's take a look back at the week that was, both here and across the globe.
Guess who's back, back again. The AFL's rolled back into town with a range of ISO do's and a long list of don'ts for week 1 of training. Let's just hope Hot Pink doesn't set off the temperature guns.
Evacuate! I take you for the team. Go!
This is hell. This is hell. Oh, okay. The joke's on me, eh?
In the US, NASCAR is leading the road back. It's cause for smiles and a little frustration.
Oh, boy.
A bird in hand, certainly not as sweet as a fox on the run. Keeping with the animal theme, as they've saved us from boredom during another week of COVID restrictions. Sure, we could take up our own approved hobbies.
6, 7, 8.
But they come with a small window for success and plenty of potential for pain.
But I need 20 bands for a anklet.
TikTok, it's a dangerous thing indeed.
Could have killed my daughter for putting that on anyway. All 4 seconds of it. Wasn't the first time I've lasted 4 seconds. Oh.
Best we end there. Tim Morgan for 10 News First.
So many great highlights.
Yes.
Georgie, too many to choose from.
Maybe not for that coach.
No.
Thank you, Jono. Coming up, the weekend forecast for the Gold and Sunshine Coast.
Get ready for MasterChef's greatest ever dish.
If there was ever a plate of food that says, I am back to win, it's this dish.
In a week of amazing food, one contestant will do something unlike anything before.
That was incredible. Incredible.
It just blows my mind. That was absolutely perfect.
MasterChef's Best Dish Week starts Sunday.
This is a Nature Valley checklist. Whole grain oats? Yes. Artificial colours and flavours? No. Delicious ingredients? Yes. Preservatives? No. Big taste? Yes. Nature Valley. Get more out.
Don't miss a moment. New by Solven Duo Syrup is a 2-in-1 formula traditionally used to soothe an irritated throat and relieve an associated dry cough. By Solven Duo. Moments uninterrupted. Available at selected retailers.
As a proud Australian company, Andersons are keeping it real with our first ever Australian-made sale, supporting our local manufacturers. For a limited time, you'll save 20% off the entire range of premium Australian-made floor coverings and window furnishings store-wide. We have stock ready for your home, rental property or business. So call Andersons today for a free, safe, in-home design consultation. Now that's a real deal.
You don't give in. You don't give up. You push on when most would have pushed off. You lend a hand, whether a hand was asked for or not. It's called Aussie Spirit for good reason, because it takes spirit to get through times like these. Lucky you've got it in spades. It's what inspires us to be by your side to help. Together we'll get through this. We always do. Search Toyota, here to help.
Muscle and osteopain can really tie you down. That pain is caused by inflammation. Nurofen helps reduce inflammation and relieve osteo and muscle pain for up to 8 hours. Break free with Nurofen.
I had one of my apprentices tell me, you know, you can regrow your hair these days. I didn't sack him. Cheeky.
Reached your turning point? The doctors at Ashley and Martin could help regrow your hair.
Huddling at home? Try Domino's new Chicken Parmesan Deep Pan. With 22 succulent chicken pieces and crispy rasher bacon from just $15 delivered. Order now with total peace of mind thanks to zero contact delivery from Domino's.
Save 20% on your second policy when you buy new eligible Suncorp home and car insurance together before July 10. Helping you save when you need it most. That's the Suncorp spirit.
When your throat is swollen or painful, standard lozenges may not be enough. Call on Strepsils Extra. Its advanced formula goes beyond our standard lozenges and numbs pain fast.
Get Strepsils Extra at Chemist Warehouse now.
Up next, with more COVID restrictions set to ease, not all Aussies are happy with where we're headed.
Target closing stores while Myer prepares to reopen. Will bricks and mortar retail survive the pandemic?
Had to cancel your travel plans? Why the standoffs over refunds are getting ugly. The Project, next.
It is weather time, Josh. A cool weekend ahead.
Yes, Georgie, those cold westerlies making it feel very chilly across the 2 best days of the week. And on the synoptic chart tonight, you can see here we've got that cold southerly airstream persisting as we get through Saturday, pushing up into southern Queensland, where those winds tend a little bit more westerly, driving down those temperatures again for Saturday and Sunday. We've got an east coast low off the New South Wales coast. Those conditions will ease as that system pushes off towards New Zealand. And we've also got tropical cyclone Mangard that's just skirting the Cocos Islands tonight, and we'll track towards WA over the weekend, but as a cold core low pressure system. Moving closer to home, well, we do have the chance of showers and rain areas north of Mount Isa to Fraser Island. So if you draw a line from there, anywhere north, you're expecting some of the wet stuff tomorrow. And we could even get some rain periods through Rocky, Mackay, Townsville and Cairns as we get through Saturday. We'll start to ease as this weather system pushes offshore as we get through Sunday. Moving up to the north, though, will be a wet Saturday for Cairns, Atherton and Townsville. Coolish as well. Townsville only topping out at 19 degrees, 17 for Mackay, and a very chilly 13 degrees for Rocky. So extensive cloud cover and that cooler airflow really driving down those temperatures across Saturday. For the southeast, east, it will be partly cloudy. Overnight temperatures falling to between 6 and 10 degrees, with daytime temperatures reaching between 14 and 18. We're going for 18 at Logan and 17 at Caboolture. Moving into Brisbane City, 17 the top tomorrow, but feeling more like 12 degrees with those westerly winds. So make sure you rug up if you're heading outside. And if you're up early Sunday morning, it's going to be a cool start. 9 degrees, 21 through the afternoon. Warming up slightly into Monday, Tuesday next week, but it will still be quite chilly outside as those winds push up. 18 degrees Saturday for Ipswich, 4 degrees first thing Sunday morning. So those early frost patches certainly making it feel very cold over the 2 best days of the week. And for the Gold Coast, looking chilly as well. 19 degrees Saturday, down to 9 degrees first thing Sunday morning. Warming up slightly to 23 Monday and Tuesday. And the other thing you will notice, staying very dry over the next 7 to 8 days for southeast Queensland. For the sunny coast, 17 the top for Saturday. Very chilly out there. 9 degrees first thing Sunday morning with a beautiful fine and sunny afternoon. 23 the top over Monday and Tuesday. So even though we've got those cold temperatures, the trade-off, Georgie, that beautiful sunshine across the weekend.
Yeah, it was certainly chilly this morning. Thank you, Josh. Well, that is 10 News First for now. For details on tonight's bulletin, head to 10play.com.au. We'll see you again on Monday. Have a great weekend. Good night.
Tonight, the government's $60 billion JobKeeper stuff-up. How did they get it so wrong?